Welcome back to Steep in the Woods. Today is all about ground anchors and how to anchor your movable tiny home to the ground to keep you safe from it falling over in a wind or it shimmying down due to an earthquake or something. Heaven forbid you never have either one of them problems. But this is how you anchor it down and it's still movable. This is your standard anchor. Now they make these giganimous mobile home type anchors, but you know what? You need two men to put them in. So these are also an option. You look at your big box improvement store. They're in the garden center back there where the sheds are. With these, they just screw in, and it takes forever. You're gonna need you some kind of leverage. This is actually a different type of anchor. I use this for a lot of different things, but you just screw it in, and it takes a long time. All right, that anchor is in. That makes both of them. Whew, I tell you, that takes forever and a day. Just hum a song in your head or think about what you're going to say when the camera comes back on. The other things you're going to need for this particular system, you don't have to use this system. This is what I'm using. You got your big anchors, the twist end kind. A lot of people think, oh, you got to have mobile home anchors. Not if it's a tiny house. So anyway, it is a shed, man. I mean, this may be a tall shed, but we're putting 6 anchors in it. You only need 4. And technically, you probably only need 2 at the tall end. But either way, what you need for this system is some good strong cable. Wrapped twisted wire cable. You're going to need one of these screw adjustable cable tension things. Whatever that is. You're going to need some way to cut your cable. I got various tools here because cable is so difficult to cut. Just however you can manage it. I've even used a Dremel with them like a cutting blade on it. And then you're going to need some of these cable ties. I got 4 of them. It'll take 8 because there's 2 anchors. And then you're going to need some way to tighten up your cable ties. I forgot my my miniature ratchet, so I found this in the toolbox in my car. We're going to use it. Alright, after you've done this and assembled all your tools, at some point in the middle there you need to drill 2 holes in your beams at the end of them. I did mine maybe 6 inches back, real close to the top, because you're only drilling the hole to keep it from sliding. You want the cable to go around as much of the meat of the beam as possible. Then you're going to measure out your cable, and you're going to run it through there, back to your eye hook, and give yourself a little bit of slack. Then you're going to attach your whatever, your screw tie here. Does it say what it is? Nope, just that it, may contain lead. You're going to attach this, your 2 little ones. Then you're going to attach your 2 big ones after you tighten this up. And you'll be ready to rock and roll, man. Alright, I have the system set up the way that I like it. I thought about this system and I think it's a good one. It'll seem complex and it'll sound complex, but really it's super duper simple. I have the cable set up with the 2 anchors going to the 2 beams. Those are crisscrossed. You want them to crisscross. You don't want them to come straight down, because that also will add side to side strength, whereas straight down wouldn't. What I have here is I have the cable. It's doubled up. It's one continuous loop of cable going to the beam and to the anchor. What I have here is 2 small screw ties and then 2 big screw ties spaced out with one of these tension rods in the middle. So what you do is you put your tension rod in the middle, tighten up one of the small ties, pull their cable hand tight, and tighten down the second one. Once that's done, you make sure that you put your 2 big ones on either side, space them out a decent spacing, and you want them loose, because your next step is tightening up this screw tie, which will tighten the cable, and you want the cable to be able to shift inside of your large clamps. Once you get it tightened down as much as you can, you then tighten down the two big clamps, which locks the system in. The reason why I chose this one is because adjustment over time will be key. As your structure settles, or if your anchors start to pull out some, you won't be able to pull them out, but they may settle as well. What you can do is loosen up your two small ones at this screw tie, stretch it back out, pull it hand tight, tighten the two big ones, and repeat the process later. So either way, I got it set up to where now all I got to do is tighten this up until it feels comfortable to me, and then throw on the two big ones, tighten them, and we're done. All right. I think that is the tension that I want to achieve with this system. Having it tight is really, really key. You don't want a system that is loose, because though it may hold 10,000 pounds, as your structure is falling over, not only do you have the weight of the structure, but you have the inertia in the movement. So either way, I don't want to get too complicated on that note, but you want it tight because you don't want any movement. And that's why this system is key. Now that I have it as tight as I want it, I'm going to tighten up these two big ones, lock the system down, and effectively turning these two cables into one solid one. Alright, that is this one done. This is one of the sway anchors. The first ones were your earthquake anchors. Now this is your wind and storm anchors. Exact same system. You just go from the beam out instead of obviously from the beam in, towards the hill. So either way, this is tightened up. I'm just going to tighten down these few clamps here, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Alright, that is the anchors done. There's two more, but I figured you got the gist of the system here. This is just the way that I do it. You don't have to do it that way, but I like it. There's one more thing you need to know before you know everything about anchoring your tiny house. Alright, the last thing you need to know about anchoring down your tiny house is something that we call hurricane ties. Now these go on your joists. Obviously we double studded a lot of our joists, so we can't put them on every single one. But you don't have to do that. By all means, you could put them on every single stud of your tiny house and it'll be just fine. I had some people comment about using screws versus nails, and there are times when nails are a must. When you're building your walls, as long as you go with the good screws, you don't need nails there. They're just an inconvenience. I can't tell you how many times I'd take a wall apart because I missed something by like a 1/4 inch. But when you're doing something like brackets, you need to get nails. You need to get joist hanger nails.